Yeah, just look at that, man. Basically, this is in the midst of me uploading, or I shouldn't even say uploading, of me recording the series I have in mind. It's September 4th, 2024. I was able to have a talk with a person who's really important in my life. We haven't had like a sit down talk in a really long time. And it made me think to myself that I haven't done this in a while, where I've just sat down and talked to myself. When I got here, I just sat in the car for a second. I gave myself 3 talking points that I really wanted to address, and mainly for myself. I think is what I want this to be. I'm pretty sure I'm doing this for myself. I think I'm doing this for myself. I don't really know. But first question I put on here when I was in the car was how I'm feeling. I feel like I am actively going through another level of change, if that makes sense. Like in terms of mentally, I feel like I'm going through a different kind of change. I'm realizing a lot of different things. I am wanting separate things in my life. Okay. But here, let's change this up a little bit. I want to sit back and really. Okay. I'm making this feel forced when it doesn't have to. I am in a place of stability that I've never been in before. And a lot of it was by myself, to a certain degree, in terms of my actions. I've had the support and the resources, and I think because of that and because of how everything feels, and initially I thought I was being complacent. I wasn't taking enough action, but it wasn't the case. I'm just very, very stable right now. And my uncle helped me realize that. Like I'm just I'm in an extremely stable point in my life, which is crazy to think about. And I think rather than me wanting change because I'm not used to stability, after thinking about it more and even thinking about it in this moment, I'm ready for the next step. I'm ready for the next step, and I'm ready to kind of start a new chapter, if that makes sense. You guys, this view is phenomenal. Hold on, one more time. I'm just extremely stable, and I feel like I am ready to move on to the next step. I think is the best way to explain it. I think I finally feel like I'm at a point where I finally know what I want to do. Again, like I think I lost myself, and I lost what I wanted to do for a couple years because I don't know what it was, honestly. I don't know why I lost my way. And I think that's the whole point about being lost. You never know how you get there. It never completely makes sense. I was lost. That was it. I was extremely lost, and I think I finally found my way again, which is cool. And that's how I'm feeling right now. I finally feel like the destination is clear in my head. Now it's just about the plan. And that's how I feel. And I think I can get there very, very quickly. It's just about putting in the effort. So that was kind of the first thing I wanted to touch up on. It's just how I was feeling. Second thing I wanted to talk about was what's the biggest thing on my mind right now. There's so much on my mind, honestly. But I think the biggest deal on my mind at the moment now is the next steps. Not only is it what are my next steps, how am I going to stick to the plan as best as possible? In terms of, I know plans go sideways all the time. That's one thing I understand. I know that plans are always going to be foiled to a certain degree. It's not going to go the way I expect them to. But when I say by what are my next steps and how am I going to stick to the plan, I mean by plan, I mean path. How am I going to stay on the path to the destination? Obviously, there's multiple paths to the destination, but it's still the path, right? And that's all that's on my mind, is how am I going to stay on that path? I understand that I can be very inconsistent. I understand that a lot of times I talk a lot more than I act. And so what am I gonna do to change those first is kind of my what I'm thinking about the most, right? Because again, it's the next steps. So what am I gonna do to change my inconsistency? What am I gonna do to stop being all talk and more action? What am I going to do to get to the destination that I know is extremely achievable for myself? Lastly, the third thing, what goals I need to set for myself for the next 6 months. So I know I like to try and keep things as private as possible, but just as a little insight, I don't even know if I'll leave it in the video, but at the same time, I do want to share my thought process, my journey with you guys to a certain degree, right? Because that's the point of this. Hear my words of wisdom, but then also see me go through the steps too. But I don't want it to just be you guys watching me. I also want it to be you guys understanding it, but then me also giving you advice during that journey. We are moving in 6 months from the house that we're currently in, and I think at this point in my life now, I want to be out kind of on my own, right? And it was the same thing my uncle actually said to me too. He was also like, I want you to experience that. I want you to experience that, the being on your own now. And I completely agree with him. And so that's one really big goal I want for myself in the next 6 months. Is to get my own place. Will that place be with my best friend? Maybe. Will that place be by myself? Maybe. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens in the next 6 months. I'm gonna hold myself accountable to making sure I get this shit done, regardless of who is on that path with me. The second really big goal within the next 6 months, I want to have the first book quotations. You guys haven't seen it yet, and I don't really want to explain it. I want you to piece it together yourself, but I think kind of having some type of lens into my brain will be perfect. The first book on my YouTube channel, I want that to be done for you guys, for you and myself actually. I think is another big one. I want it to be done for you guys, and also want it to be done for myself. Honestly, I think that's it. I think those are my two main goals. I don't want to spread myself too thin. I don't want to shoot for anything super crazy. Those are my two goals. That's what I want to hit. That's what I want to get done. My own place, and for the first book to be done on the YouTube channel. Obviously there are layers and layers and layers upon that, but I know it can get done, and I know it will get done because I'll make it a point to get it done. So those are the three things I wanted to talk about. Kind of wanted to get those thoughts out of my head. Also thought it would be good to kind of get out of the house. I haven't got out of the house and sat down with myself in a minute. I know as I'm recording the other videos, it might be good to throw a little bit of filler in, if you get what I'm saying. You guys get a little filler, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got the main stories and everything, and we got little side stories, and this could be a little side story, like these little sit down and talks and everything. I think that'll be really, really fun, actually. So, yeah, that was it. I think my mind is very clear now. I am going to enjoy this view until it's gone, take a couple photos, and you guys should be seeing some uploads from me soon. So, can't wait. All she want is chicken grease. All you know is what your mammy taught you about the surface. Get your